We're taking you behind the scenes here at PCMA's Convening Leaders. Hi everybody, I'm Carrie Farnack with CNTV. We are in the aquarium where Freeman is running the show for the general sessions. Today's keynote speaker was Marriott's Arne Sorensen. We're going to have highlights of his presentation and so many other education sessions coming up on PCMA TV, sponsored by the Orange County Convention Center. PCMA meetings always attract high-level speakers, including industry-changing newsmakers. Here at Convening Leaders, the president and CEO of what is now the largest hotel chain addressed questions that are on the minds of meeting planners around the globe. A sea of curious minds wants to know, what will the Marriott-Starwood merger mean for the hotel industry?
Well, it will be transformative in a sense, but also I think more of the same in a sense.
Arne Sorensen took the Convening Leaders stage during the opening general session. He's president and CEO of Marriott International, a company that's embracing the mindset that bigger is better.
We signed 100,000 new hotel rooms in 2014 alone. We haven't announced yet 2015, but the number will be similar. And so that it's almost 2 hotels a day. And you think about that, that is something like, $2 or $3 billion of real estate investments every year.
Here's what the new company looks like. 1.1 million guest rooms, more than 5,500 properties in 100 countries, and roughly 37% of those are located outside the U.S. Impressive numbers that almost didn't add up, according to Sorensen.
And we first looked at it and said, we're not interested. And we weren't interested. It looked expensive to us. We just didn't think it was worth the effort, and there will be a lot of work in order to pull these two companies together and create what we can. And so we told the sellers we're out.
4 or 5 months later, Marriott changed its mind, and in just 3 weeks, the $12.2 billion deal was done.
We became more convinced that having a bigger loyalty program, so we'll come back to your points,
please,
and spending more money on consumer-facing technology, that's a piece of it, and more global distribution, and the complementary skills that Starwood could bring to us. All of that caused us to think, you know what, let's take another look at it.
So what will happen to the Marriott and SPG rewards programs? Facilitator Mel Robbins sought answers.
But the notion is essentially to take the best of both these programs.
So does that mean you're going to merge the programs?
Well, we'll see what I don't know what the thing will be called.
Is that a yes?
We want to make sure that you've got the ability, well, yes in this sense. We want to make sure that you've got the ability to earn points, earn connectivity in the total portfolio, and that you've got the ability to redeem and stay with us for free in the total portfolio. But we want to make sure that we protect your elite status. So if you're elite on one side, not the other, your elite status is going to continue. We want to make sure
I think that deserves a round of applause, don't you think?
Another benefit of the acquisition is Starwood's portfolio of lifestyle brands. Aloft, W Hotels, and Design Hotels will now help Marriott attract the next generation of travelers.
Starwood's DNA has been marketing. Marriott's DNA has been as an operating company. We're not going to lose that, but how do we make sure we bring the marketing piece, the sizzle, the sex appeal, and the rest of it to our larger customer base? And I think all of those things, if we can do it right and make sure we capture these skills, will end up not just being bigger, but better.
PCMA's meeting planner members are hoping that will be the case.
I think the test will be the time, see how it all plays out. Both good products, so you'd hate to lose some of the things that Starwood is really known for. Marriott's known for many good things as well, so it'd be interesting to see how he takes the best of class and best of breed and makes something hopefully even more powerful and dynamic.
number one, the history of these big mega mergers is not that good. You look at the performance of the hotel or the industry or the organization 2 to 3 years hence, and a lot of those things have never been realized, what he's talked about. But I think his philosophy of how can we bring the best of both together and make the whole new thing better is very interesting. The question is going to be, how well can he actually deliver on that?
It sounds like it's going to be a good thing. I think a lot of people were nervous, especially because like they talked about the reward systems and such are so important to us because we're on the road. But it sounds like it'll be very positive.
Only time will tell. Meantime, PCMA and Marriott announced a landmark research project that looks at the 5 emerging trends over the next 5 years. Here's the list: sensory analytics, capturing an event's pulse with the Internet of Things; tribalization, cultivate kinships to elevate outcomes; content safaris, empower the nonlinear journey; Living 360, moving beyond wellness to wholeness; and immersive telepresence, captivating the virtual audience. We look forward to finding out more about these trends at future PCMA meetings.
Fast, effective, powerful. Custom TV content from CNTV starts the buzz at your event, creates year-round content, and opens new revenue opportunities with sponsors. Find out how at cntvnow.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Carrie Fairneck with CNTV. This is PCMA TV. I'm joined now by Kai-Han Krippendorf, who's the CEO of Outthinker, and we are talking about outthinking the competition.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about how to make disruptive change a reality.
Well, if you trace any disruptive change, what you'll see it comes from when someone makes a choice that others don't respond to. You call that disruptive innovation, you call that blue ocean, but basically you do something that your competitors, in Gandhi has this great phrase, they ignore you and then they laugh at you before they fight with you. So you do something that your competitors ignore and laugh at.
Interesting. And how does this apply really to the meeting industry? Tell us a little bit about what meeting planners can do to find that disruptive change in their organizations.
Well, it comes from recognizing where people have stopped thinking. And in older industries, and I would say, compared to software, right, events is an older industry. And in hospitality in general is one of the oldest industries. What you'll find is people have just started repeating. They've accepted this is the way we've done it for hundreds of years. And whenever you see that, there is the opportunity. And you have so many exciting disruptions happening, around the Internet of Things, around big data, around mobile, and what Uber's doing, what Airbnb is doing. We are facing a very exciting moment, and you can either be the thinker, follower, or you can be the outthinker and shape that future.
And you talk about the fourth option, right? This is what we're really looking for, to find that fourth option. Describe that a little bit for me.
So the fourth option is really a metaphor. It says the 3 represents the point at which others stop thinking. They start repeating themselves, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and then you see the fourth option. One example of that from around the space is Ingvar Kamprad, who had a very simple conference business. He would rent a table at a conference and he would sell furniture. All his competitors ganged up on him one year and said, let's not invite him to the next conference. So what did he do? He had 3 options: find another conference, find something else to sell, or go find another job. But he said, no, I'm going to create my own conference. That idea grew and grew and grew, and it became IKEA. IKEA is just a conference. It's not a retail, it's a conference that happens every day, and Ingvar owns all the tables.
It's amazing, and that's something that so many folks here can relate to. So any parting thoughts on what you really want folks to know about the fourth option?
Well, actually, the conception of the fourth option is only half the battle. The other half the battle is this dilemma, that the idea that can really disrupt your market will seem impossible. So what do you do with those impossible ideas? I just encourage people to take a note from Albert Einstein, who said, it's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. So take that idea, that crazy idea, that impossible idea, circle it, write it down in your notebook, and spend every day looking at it, not from why is this not possible, but what could I do to make this possible? And that's how you outthink.
Fantastic. Great ideas. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Right here on PCMA TV. For now, I'm Carrie Fairneck.
Pretty much all day and all night. From 7 o'clock, we start breakfast at 7. We go all day long. There's usually a reception and a dinner after, so you're lucky if you're done by 9 or 10 at night. Well, part of it is we like to keep people busy so they don't get in trouble. And part of it is, you're only there for a short period of time, and not everybody goes to everything, but you want to offer something for everyone. So some people want to do things here or there. So for example, we'll do a social event where, like, for a good cause, like a Ronald McDonald House or something like that, and we'll have it from 5 to 9 at night. So people can come in from 5 to 6 or from whatever time, but we want to have it available to them, to meet their needs so they can personalize their experience.
Tons of emails each morning, normally taking calls from participants on panel sessions, from our exhibitors, from hotels, the convention centers, all of our vendors. That's pretty much my day. Calls from every area of the conference planning.
I think what's actually happening is we're all feeling over-programmed to death, and what we need is space to think. What we need is space to actually kind of comprehend what we heard, let it sink in, and think about how we can actually do that. And rather than run to the next session, try and look at 17 different options in the next session time, could I actually take a few minutes to have a deeper conversation about what I just heard without feeling that I have to rush somewhere? So I think what we really need to do in looking at how we program our meetings is stop over-programming them and start giving people something that they can actually grab onto and then work with.
No doubt a packed schedule is a challenge for both planners and attendees of their meetings. That's why PCMA brought in keynote speaker Juliette Funt, who describes white space and why meeting planners need to find more of it.
Well, it's really for their own professional and personal development, and the sidebar of using it at their own meetings, I think, is a small part. So I think what they should focus on is how to let go of some things in their own professional routine, looking for waste, the unnecessary, things we're doing to please others, things we're doing out of habit or protocol that we've never even questioned. The question of where can we let go over and over and over is a road to white space.
And really the numbers back up this theory, right? I was fascinated with the amount of time that we can get back into our organizations and our teams. Talk about that a little bit.
So we talk about freeing up about 3 to 8% of a team's time, and if you quantify the result of having 3 to 8% of your talented folks unoccupied and what they could do in thoughtful time during that period of time, the numbers add up very, very quickly.
And as a mom, it spoke to me not just at work, but also at home. This is something that we all need to remember, right?
Sure, yeah, and the overbusy children are probably the ones that need it the most. Cut some of the after-school activities, especially the ones they have no passion for, and just go out in the backyard with Chinese checkers and some lemonade and just remember how to be in unscheduled time together. That's what we hope people are doing.
Fantastic. I'm going to schedule more white space, if you will. I guess that means unscheduling. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
As everybody's seen my schedule this week, I think it's 7 a.m. starts through to whatever the end of the day finishes. For me, I do like to exercise, so I am an early morning person and I either run or do something, and for me that's when I get my white space. So if I'm doing laps of the pool or I'm just running, I go into a zone. I don't know where I go, come up with my best ideas at that time, and sometimes this is scary, but driving to work. So it's when I've kind of stopped and my head's stopped, that's when I get the white space.
We had a 5-day event, so within 5 days you can't be go, go, go every minute of every day. So what we were able to do is at the end of each day before each evening activity, we were able to build in maybe an hour to 2 hours for people to just clear their heads. Where we were in central Glasgow, it's right by the river. So it's a beautiful place to go for a run or just have a walk, get some fresh air. Fortunately, we were in a very mild September, so we had some great sunshine. But for us, just having people meeting each other is one of the big things. So even though it may be programmed as white space, we found that people would still meet up with colleagues, they would still want to continue conversations, but in a perhaps more relaxed atmosphere and not as timetabled.
We understand that part of the value and the draw to coming to our city is that we have the beautiful Rocky Mountains in our backyard. And with that, we're seeing a lot of meeting planners try to incorporate what the destination has to offer, as well as the educational components that they're trying to promote within their conference. So obviously, you know, there are a number of conferences that try to pound out their itinerary as fast as possible and then give their attendees time to explore the area. But we're starting to really see a shift in trying to incorporate different activities, different areas within the destination, Calgary specifically, that the meeting planners are trying to incorporate.
Hi everybody, I'm Carrie Fairneck with CNTV. We are joined now by two recipients of the PCMA Chairman Scholarship. We're so excited that you're here. This is Becca and this is Corey. And Becca, let's start with you. What is it like to receive this scholarship?
It's really amazing to be supported by the PCMA community. They're really a great community, and getting the scholarship meant that we could come here to the conference. It was really amazing to see Vancouver and to be supported in our education.
Fantastic. Congratulations are in order for both of you. I know, Corey, you guys go to University of South Carolina. Tell me what this means for your future.
Yeah, this is going to be good preparation for the future career that I have in the meetings and events industry. So I'm just very thankful to have received this scholarship.
Fantastic. Do you all know what you want to do in the industry? Have you given that any thought?
Well, I hope to work in corporate events or for an association in the events department. So.
Fantastic. And Corey, what about you? Do you know?
I would also like to work in the events department in a variety of organizations. I'm fairly open to a lot of different options right now.
Fantastic. Well, you are good to sign that the future is bright for our industry. So, Becca and Corey, fantastic to be with you. Thank you very much. For now, I'm Carrie Fairneck, and this has been PCMA TV, produced by CNTV. A risky room flip. PCMA converts the general session space into smaller concurrent session rooms in just 1 hour's time. And they're showing you how they did it. Sections of the ballroom were broken down and reconstructed in this carefully coordinated room reversal. It's an effort to keep all of you together.
We realized that if you can keep people together, more energy, more connections, easily you can find people a little bit easier. So in order to do that, we needed to turn our general session into 2 smaller rooms.
We wanted to keep everyone within this west building, and this was the only way to do it.
3 different teams carried out the flip. The Freeman AV team, their Deco team, plus the in-house Vancouver Convention Center group.
So the air walls are being pulled, stage is being dropped, the room is being cleaned, seats are coming up. That is all happening from the Vancouver group. From the Freeman AV team, reconfiguring for a session within this room, and from our Deco team, adding the backdrop and the stage drape. So all of those things have to happen at the same time.
And for such a large undertaking, practice makes perfect.
A lot of practice. We ran through this at least 3 times yesterday, multiple discussions ahead of time, and planning, knowing the timing that each one of these takes and building it all into one piece.
The execution required all hands on deck, but the months of planning made for a smooth conversion of the room.
The design of the seating and the placement of the staging really has to factor into your thought process. So we put our stage on one end, and so far over, as a matter of fact, that much of the equipment behind the scenes is located out into a little bit of the open space foyer. So, and that's a learning moment. People can see how it works behind the scenes.
We have learned a lot through the process. The biggest thing is that it's all about communication and coordination. Also, multiple crews. Things have to happen all at the same time. It can't be in a linear fashion. It needs to all happen together. So there have been multiple teams all doing the same work, just to ensure that it gets done and we have a minute to breathe. The only factor we couldn't rehearse was the length of time to get people out of the room. So that's why we were very transparent, and PCMA wanted to do that, be very clear about what was happening. One of the focuses this year is all about learning and the why, not just the how. So we can explain how this is happening, but they wanted to share why it was happening with the attendees. So it's a great learning point.
PCMA is changing this room not once but twice during Convening Leaders, and it's all to improve your experience here in Vancouver. For PCMA TV, I'm Carrie Fairneck. We'll see you next time. Hi everybody, I'm Carrie Fairneck with CNTV. I'm joined now by Tina Waymeyer, who is the 2016 chair for the PCMA Foundation Board of Trustees. Tina, thanks so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit about what you hope to accomplish in the coming year.
Well, Gary Schumacher, who just completed his year as chair, did just a great job with the Board of Trustees in furthering our strategic visions. So I'm really hoping that we can continue going down that path of really increasing our funding for grants and scholarships, because we made a huge impact in that in 2015. And we're looking to do that maybe through some new exciting events and some new partnerships. Additionally, I really want to get out there and do some really touch points with the chapters. I think we have And a challenge sometimes with the foundation brand and some of the grassroots efforts understanding what the foundation really does. And it's just so critical for us to push that out. So I really want to get out there, visit with the chapters, see what they need from us, see what we can do to explain to them what all the foundation accomplishes and what we really do for membership at large.
I was going to say the foundation does so much. You mentioned scholarships, and it's also all about education, isn't it, really, across the organization?
Yes, we do education, research that's industry-wide, grants. And for me, the real passion for me really is the scholarship side of it. I love that one of our core values is really about furthering the young professionals and seeing what that next generation is going to do and furthering our industry in that way. And, that's what the scholarships do, and that's what my passion is.
Fantastic. Tina, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it very, very much.
Well, thank you.
Right here on PCMA TV.